Let's go get some water. Oh my god. I was. Oh, I have to take a break. I've been sitting. Oh. Oh, sitting for too long. I. Oh, shoot. I knocked it over again. Oh. I started playing that GeoGuessr game, and I just couldn't help myself. Because I started playing that Rainbolt guy. I was watching him on YouTube, and I was like, oh, like I recognize some of those places, and I was like, I wonder how good I can do at that game. So I went on the website and I paid for the pro version, and I started playing it. And like, sure enough, I've been to some of those places. Like, I recognize like Central Park and like New York and like some of the places around the Midwest and like some of the places in Germany and stuff. Like, I recognize those places, and I was like, oh yeah, sure. And like, if you live long enough, like, stuff just sort of looks familiar after a while. You can just start to kind of like pick it out. I think my top score right now is something like 5,000 or something, which is not great, but it's not terrible either. I have a pretty, I mean, it's pretty good for a novice, like just somebody who hasn't done any studying of like street signs or like, earth stuff, where I'm just looking at pictures and like kind of figuring it out on my own without like, where I'm just, going, doing logical guesses based on what I see in the picture, and taking my time and doing based on my previous experiences, without having done any like research or study into it. I think 5,000 is pretty good as far as that goes. Especially since what it looks like the high scores on the website are getting 45,000. So, I suppose I'm doing all right for the first time playing. Not bad. Not bad at all. I guess. I suppose I could be doing higher. I suppose I could be doing worse. Making educated guesses, I guess. It's always satisfying when we get within like a few miles of the destination. Because I saw one and it was like, oh, Paladero Canyon, and I was like, at first I was like, that's Arizona, because I got it mixed up with Red Rock Canyon. But then I was like, because I recognize that place, and and my sister lives in Amarillo, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's why I know that. Because I've been to Paladero. It's Texas. That's what's fun about it. Stop you. I think the thing that I always get mixed up on are, for some reason, I can't, I don't know why I always believe this, but I always get China, their farmland, mixed up with Iowa farmland or like Texas farmland. Because for some reason, if because there's no street signs or anything, and it looks like Iowa farmland to me for some reason. If you just show me a picture of Chinese like out like farmland, it looks like Iowa farmland for me for some reason. But the thing about it is I think the thing that does it is that Iowa farmland doesn't have the same power lines, I don't think. And I think that's what I need to start studying is power lines. But there are no street signs. And I think in America there are street signs that are the differences. Plus, I think the roads are slightly different if I looked at them more closely. But some of those back roads, you go in Iowa, some of those back roads, man, because they have like the grates. Because what they are, you get those cattle grates, especially out on like some of the country roads. You get those, they put those like metal grates on the road, and you really can't tell the difference. Is because some of those roads are dirt roads. You get out in like Kansas, Texas, like the Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Kansas, like Panhandle, like the middle of where it's flat, middle nowhere. I'm telling you, it looks like just like China. I'm telling you. Also, some parts of some African countries, you can definitely fool me, because some African countries look like Australian outback. You can really fool me sometimes. And if I catch a sign, sometimes I can catch it where I understand where I am, but sometimes you can really fool me. Unless there's a car or something nearby, or I happen to notice where the sun is, or there's like a building nearby, you can really catch me. You can really fool me where I am. Because the dirt, if I'm looking at the dirt, sometimes I'll get confused and be like, am I in Kenya or Nairobi, or am I in the Australian outback? Because that dirt looks the same to me. And I'll be like, I don't know. They look very similar. I'm like, I don't know. But the cars look different. And that's the thing. You get the cars in those African countries as opposed to like Australia. And they're different. Very different. Because one of the telltale signs that you're in Australia is you get those Toyota trucks. That's how you know you're in Australia. You get those little toy Toyota trucks. That's how you know you're in Australia. Those like old school 80s. You know what I'm talking about? The old school 80s Toyota trucks. That's how you know you're in Australia. And they don't have those as much in they have like the Jeeps in like Kenya and stuff like that, or like the or they have like, and like you can always tell when you're in Eastern Europe because they have like the cars aren't as big. You don't have as many big SUVs in like Eastern Europe coming into like Russia and stuff like that. You can always tell you're in the United States because it'd be like big cars. But like the more European, like Eastern Europe you go, the less SUVs you have, like gas guzzlers. Unless you go to like, I don't know what it is, like, because the cars in the United States are so big compared to the rest of the world. Like, we have such big cars in the States compared to everybody else. Our cars are huge. You go to some of these other places, and like, they just don't have the space for. But the United States roads are huge, or big compared to the rest of the world too. Have you ever noticed our roads are so big? Our roads are huge. Go to other countries, their roads aren't as big. Like, just the width of our roads are big. Start looking at that GeoGuessr app. It's a GeoGuessr thing. Like, our roads are, we take up a lot of space on the roads. Because we have such big cars. Big gas guzzlers. You ever notice that? Yeah. Meow. Oh, another place you can mix me up is northeastern United States. So like northern Michigan, like Massachusetts, Connecticut, that area, because there's a lot of woodsy areas out that way, and Germany, Black Forest, Germany. You can really screw me up on those unless there's cars around. Because those two areas have very similar trees or foliage. Like the forest looks the same to me. Like very similar looking stuff. But when you start getting cars involved, then you can really tell. Again, because the cars look very different. But when you just look at the forest or the stuff, they look very similar. I'm sure there's more. But that's just kind of my short list for now. I need to go to bed. But I was just having fun playing that game.